I have the trust of the emperors.
It will clear my path to the throne.
You will be my instrument.
I will never be your instrument in this life or the next.
Lucius, take your father's strength. His name was Maximus, and I see him in you.
It seems as relevant as ever to go back into this world that you've done. And, so what is it about this version here, this time, to do this particular story for you?
It's interesting how history, we don't learn by history at all. And here we are circling the wagons on exactly where we are today. We're dealing with AD 200, and here we are 2000. We've got all the same problems happening again and again and again, so we don't learn anything. I don't think this is going to teach us a lesson at all, but I hope it entertains you.
What was the experience like for you jumping into that ring and the physicality of it, just alone in doing this?
You just start training and you just let rip. You just go to work, and I had a fantastic trainer, and we had an amazing stunt team, and Ridley's incredibly clear with every department. But you go to town and then you throw all of that out the window, and then you start working on the kind of intricacies of the scenes with the likes of Denzel and Connie. I think the mechanics of what I love about acting doesn't change, and that's something I wasn't sure was going to be the case when you step into something like Gladiator II versus the rest of the things that I've done. But I'm glad to say that it felt alien and familiar at the same time.
So Denzel,
Yes.
working with Sir Ridley again after
Yes.
American Gangster, this is your second collaboration. What is it about him that lures you in?
He's the best. He's no nonsense. He gets on with it. He leaves us alone. As he says, 80% of it is casting. He found this young man and some other great young actors. Where he leads, we follow and bring our stuff with us.
Connie, welcome back to this wonderful role. And she really is interesting. I think she's really moved on to be a really intriguing character here. The moral center, who's also sort of horrified at what she's seeing going by. Can you talk about where this character has gone?
It sort of just was all born from where Ridley started the character off. 20 years have passed, and here you have the daughter of Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher, emperor, who was, this shining example of, actually a person who could handle power in a pretty sort of self-restrained way. And then she has seen the entire empire descend into a form of chaos, and all of the norms and all of the moral precepts that she had sort of been given since birth, they've all gone by the wayside. And that was such an interesting thing to play that Ridley gave me, putting me in that situation. And he also saddled me with this pain, because I had to send away my child to save his life. And that's the ultimate sacrifice of a mother. And then he has me try to fight to get him back when I rediscover him. And that is so heartbreaking. And in the middle of that, he's also given me this love by this gorgeous, amazing man. Pedro Pascal is how I see him. And then, I don't know, it was just a wonderful way that he positioned Lucilla in this film.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ridley.
Doug Wick, so you produced the first one with Lucy Fisher and a couple of other producers, I believe, as well, and won an Academy Award. And were you thinking right away you wanted to revisit this?
Lucy always says the reason it took 25 years is we were waiting for Paul Mescal to be born. But we all felt that we had gotten very lucky on the first movie. If you work with Ridley in development, everything's visual. So whatever sort of story point, thematic conversations you have, he'll kind of pay attention, look a little bored, and then he'll give you an exact visual scene to dramatize what you've been talking about. You only pick things that feel like they'll be about now. You don't want a period movie that's stuck in the past. So the idea, as they were saying, of a billionaire who tries to buy the the capital city and impose his will feels very much like now.
I'm so happy you brought back Janty. Yates, the Oscar winner from Gladiator, Napoleon, so many movies that you've done. And okay, Janty, I want to know about all these costumes, but I really want to know how you dressed Denzel here in this. I love the flowing things that you get to wear. Was that fun for you too?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we basically started off with a whole load of inspiration from Ridley, which was the Orientalist painters, and they were 1900s, and they did the most wonderful gentlemen who were in these flowing robes with turbans. We decided not to wear the turban, and he wore the earrings instead, which was great. But they were our start from Alma Tadema, Jerome, Benjamin Constant. It was all from art, and I was just the facilitator. It was Ridley's genius ideas, always, and I just got them made, and we tried them on, and we went with them. Simple as that. Lots of jewelry.
And Harry Gregson-Williams with the score, which is a great score, man. I'm a real fan of your music. I'm a big soundtrack aficionado, and I have a whole Harry Gregson-Williams shelf. But this one provided certain challenges for you, and I know you went back and found instruments of the time. You found one guy that actually collects these things musically somewhere.
I did, and the joy of doing a score like this is the kind of flavors and the colors that one can bring to the music. No one really knows what instruments would have been played at that time, but looking at art and some literature and whatnot, one can find out the sort of thing that people do. Now, I found a chap in a field in northern Spain who makes instruments that could have been played at that time. So I actually found him on YouTube. Yes. So the Paramount Music people are very, very, very helpful, and I said, look, I've got to make a trip. Is that okay? And they said, yeah. Make sure it counts, though. So I went down to visit this chap, and he had all these extraordinary instruments. Obviously, we wanted to embody the spiritual essence of the first movie. And, early conversations with Rid were, look, is there any negative to using Lisa and occasionally maybe using Hans's tune? Just do it better, I think he asked me to do. It might have been his words. We picked out a couple of spots, towards the end of the movie, after Macronus is slayed, and Lucius gives his speech, you just give the audience what they've been waiting for, give them that. So there's a lot of music before that I had to create, but we're kind of building towards those moments.
Anybody have anything to say to this audience before we go?
Tell a friend.
That's enough. Thanks, guys.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.